Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our special edition of Behind the Mic today. Because we have a special guest in. Yes, I was just here yesterday, but had a chance to have this wonderful woman in with us today. So here we are again, and sitting down with the one and only Beth Griffith-Manley. Good afternoon.
Hi, Pam. Good afternoon.
So excited you are here.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to back up because people may not know what's going on. You are a contestant right now on The Voice.
Yes, I am.
Love that show. Been watching it for many, many years. I've had several guests on here that have been on that show. Yeah. And when I first, watched the season starting out, and they were like, from Detroit, Michigan, I was like, what? Oh, my ears just perked right out. I was like, okay, got to have someone else on the show.
Yeah.
And you, so great watching you and following you.
Thank you.
We're going to talk all about the Voice.
Okay.
And we're going to get a little bit further behind of you as a person and all the things you've done with your music.
Okay.
So we're going to touch on a lot of different things here. So again, thank you so much for coming in and dressing up so cool for our show.
Good sparkles for you today. Thank
you are sparkling, that's for sure. That is for sure. Well, okay, we were out talking, there's been other people here in the show where, everyone's wanted to talk to you. And so start talking about, things that are in the show. And it's like, wait, stop. She's going to be on the air with me. Hold on.
Right.
But no, it was some cool stuff. So, well, let's just back up. How did you, I know your whole background, but let's start with how you actually got onto The Voice. How does that process work?
There are several processes. They have an open call audition, kind of cattle call. And then they also invite people to audition for the show.
Okay.
And I was fortunate to be one of the people invited to audition for the show. That is a process that I think is wonderful because who wants to stand in a long line,
Yeah.
But when you really are chasing your dreams, you do what you have to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm one of those people that said I was going to never audition for one of these type of shows because we know there are several type of singing competition shows that have come and gone and some that have stuck around. So I said I was going to never do it. And
never say never.
Right. You never say never. That is like my new thing now. Never say never. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to be an independent. Well, no, let me say this. I've always wanted to be a recording artist. I've always worked in the business, but never as a solo artist.
Okay.
So I was determined to release my own project, which I did in 2017. Mm-hmm. And being an independent artist, you don't have the money. You don't have the funds. You don't have the marketing dollars behind you. And again, I said, I'm not going on one of these shows. Okay, being hard-headed. And, but, the show found me. They reached out to my management and invited me to audition, and I declined.
You did?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I declined. At the time, there were a lot of things going on in my life. My mom had gotten ill, very, very ill. My mother almost died. She had a hemorrhagic stroke. And I was told she wasn't going to live. So at the time, I was still traveling with an artist that is originally from Detroit named Kim.
Kim, yeah.
I'm one of his background singers. And I kind of slowed down my travel schedule with him so that I could care for my mother. And moved my mom in with me and just dedicated myself to care for her. And thank God she's doing amazing. But at the time, when the first invitation happened, I just couldn't do it because I couldn't leave her.
Can't leave mom, yeah.
And again, I said I wasn't going on one of these shows, so it didn't really matter. And then later, my mom got better. I released my album and they called again. And they happened to call on a day when I reached out to my manager to tell him that I wanted to figure out some other, other things to do to promote the album, something clean, my joke is I'm not stripping on Instagram because that's what everybody's doing now. I was like, anything other than, it's gotta be clean, And he goes, well, yeah, the show called back, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then I said, I said I was gonna never do this, but it's been the most amazing thing, one of the most amazing things I've ever done.
I can only imagine, just because we only see so much that they show on air, and it's just like all the stuff that goes on beforehand, and how the whole process, because there's thousands of people that
it is.
that
On
this.
average, I think they say maybe 50,000 people audition, and because they do the open call, and I think maybe 4 or 5 cities, you can go on the Voice website and it'll show you the cities that they're going to. and you go and you stand in the line and then you audition, and that's a process in itself. So you think about all of the people that have all these dreams and all these aspirations, and then you get down to the blind audition, and then you're one of the top 48. It's unbelievable. Statistic wise, like what?
Wow. Yeah. Pinch me.
Pinch me. No, real. No, slap me, because the pinch is not enough. It's crazy. And you think about it, and I go, God, thank you. Like, you knew when I just couldn't see it.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm really grateful. I'm really thankful.
And a good question that, as a viewer, when you have the auditions and it's like, I know they got to be getting down to just a few spots left. It's like, well, what happens if there's someone really good that comes after the last spot? What do they do?
That I don't know. Okay. I really don't know. I do know in watching the show that the coaches are very strategic in listening. They have a wonderful listening ear. And they're listening for something specific. Yeah. You often hear the coaches say, well, I'm listening for this, or I'm looking for this. They know what they want, and you just hope you are what they want.
That's amazing, too. It's like you can see their faces. It's like, I think that's what I'm looking for, but not quite. And it's just fun to see you kind of like in their heads. What are they thinking?
And then you can tell when they're not interested either.
Oh yeah.
They're like, eh.
And they're so nice after when no chair turns. It's like you have to be nice. These poor people. That's
but they
huge.
know. They know. They've been doing this for so long. They know the feeling of rejection. Yeah. They know how hard you've worked to even get enough nerve to stand there. And then there's cameras, and then there's lights, and then there's an audience. And that's got to be, well, I'm saying it like I don't know. Yeah. That is, let me change my word. That is a lot of pressure, on any person. There are people who say they can't even stand up and talk to people. So let alone talking, you are opening up. Oh, very vulnerable.
Very vulnerable, yes.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. Well, and you've got the experience, so that...
It doesn't even matter, Pam. You're just up there. You're like, oh, my God. It's. I do have experience, and I think my experience has helped get me to this point. Okay. But when you're in that moment and you're getting ready to be judged and critiqued by professional people, and then non-professional, which is the viewing audience, which is more opinionated than the coaches. You feel that's my, the naked moment I said I wasn't going to have. That was my naked moment. I was naked then, honestly, you feel that way. You feel like you've put yourself out there, and you just hope and pray that what you think you have is good, that they agree.
Well, the fact that they're three major artists, huge, that, just that in itself would scare me to death.
No, it's four.
I'm four.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
These are huge names in the business.
Yeah. And then the chair turns around, and then you're like, oh, you like me, and then it's like, oh, but I gotta finish the song. It's just a ball of emotion, and it's like, Mama, I'm good for real, So that's how you're feeling. It's crazy.
Yeah, at least one chair. And, how many chairs did turn? Just
I got two chairs.
Right, Kelly
and all you need is one. You would love to have four. Yeah. But all you need is one. Yeah. And there are people who have gone all the way with one chair. That one coach heard something special, and they went all the way. That's all it takes,
just one.
Just one.
That was, and it must have been fun. Okay, of course, John and Kelly both turned their chairs, but you chose Kelly. Was that just an instant decision?
No.
Okay, you already knew that.
I am a strategic thinker. I like to think that I am. I do stuff off the whim too, but I thought about the coaches. I said, if one coach turns around, of course I'm going to go at that one, because you're automatically on that person's team. If two coaches turn around, who might they be? I don't know. But I do know Kelly is an amazing vocalist, and we have similar tones to our voice. And Kelly also has that rasp thing in her voice that I naturally have in my voice. And I had studied her vocally. I had listened and studied John Legend. I love Adam Levine and Maroon 5. Blake Shelton, not really so much, because I'm not a country fan, but I do like some country songs. So, I said, whoever turns around, I'm going to go with them. But if Kelly turns around, I'm definitely going to go with Kelly. That was something I wanted to do ahead of time. Okay. Well, I never expected John to turn around. I mean, that was totally a surprise. Yeah. And I'm totally honored, and I'm totally excited he did. because I'm still there.
You're still there. Well, and I will say that, okay, so then you got in.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank
I mean, that
you.
was a huge thing at that point. It's like,
Yes.
yay.
Yeah.
Or Detroit girl. I mean, we can call
Oh,
you
God.
ours, which is nice.
I wanted to run laps around the building. I wanted to scream. I wanted
Oh, I
to
can
throw
imagine.
shoes, all of that stuff. And I was like, no, I'm singing Aretha Franklin. And I
Yes.
have to compose myself. I'm representing the queen.
There you go.
So, yeah, but I
Good
was
point.
just, oh, God, just bubbling inside.
And I love it when you got to the battles. And, and of course, the battles, you're both singing the same song, you know, and
Correct.
you're taking turns, you're singing together and everything.
Yeah.
Amazing job you guys
Thank
did. It was just like,
you.
oh my gosh, you know, it was just like
Thank
gave me
you.
goosebumps. You guys
It was
were
amazing
so good.
singing with Jedge.
Very
he's
talented.
very talented, yes.
Yeah, but then, you know, Kelly has to make a decision. And just, you know, that's the toughest part, as they always they say, you know, got to choose something. But I will say, then of course they have the Steels. Thank God for the Steels. They brought back just a few years ago or started that. And your face when you know John Legend hits his steel, and your face, it was priceless. It was like you were like, what the hell?
Because
just
I
happened?
hear the boom, but I couldn't, you know, it's so much going on. Again, there's people screaming, there's lights, Carson Daly standing there, and then you hear the boom, we have a steal. And I was thinking he was gonna let me say my speech, and I was gonna say
to Kelly, you mean?
I would like to thank the Academy. You know, I was ready for that, right? And then he says, well, boom. And I'm like, wait, hey, yay. Like, it was so, I wasn't ready.
Your face.
I don't mean that in a bad way.
Oh, no, yeah.
You know, but I wasn't prepared. And then I heard the boom. And then from where I was standing, I think I couldn't tell who had hit them. So I was like, who saved me? Who stole me? Who? You know, and that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And then I see it was John. And yeah, it was just,
your face just was perfect. It just said all your emotion. You could tell exactly where it was like.
Yeah, because I remember everybody showing one of my eyes. I was like, I was so happy.
That was good. Well, congratulations. So now you're on Team Legend.
Yes, I am. Yes.
What another
EGOT
great
winner.
artist.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Crazy.
So good for you.
Thank you.
And then, of course, you're through the blind. So next is the knockout round.
Correct.
And you get to choose your own songs, or do they choose the songs for the knockouts?
We choose.
Okay.
We work together in selecting a song that best fits.
Okay.
You know, I had a hand in picking the Aretha Franklin song. You
Okay,
know,
good.
they know that I love Aretha Franklin. So it's just a win-win situation. You get to sing songs that you love by artists that you love. And if by chance you sing a song that you don't know, like I did not know Jealous by Labyrinth, which I sang. But the song was a beautiful song and I was happy to sing it. It's a song that I can put into my repertoire now because I love the song and it was great. And it allowed me to sing with an artist that I would never have sung with. Jedge is amazing. He is originally from the Philippines, but he lives in LA right now. He has a huge following. And now a lot of his fans and followers are supporting me as well. And so it's just amazing. It's just a great collaboration. So it's a great bowl of soup. It's just it's wonderful.
It is. Awesome. So we're still, the battles are still going on.
Correct, yes.
So is there another week of battles? Am I getting it?
I think so.
And then
so
we go.
I think it's 3 or 4 weeks of battles.
Okay.
We get notified. You know, I don't know everything. I don't know everything that's going to happen coming up. But I do know that, you know, there was an episode that aired last night.
Yes.
And then I was aired on the first one, which was the 25th, I believe, last week.
Yeah.
And so I think that there is either 1 or 2 more that have to air. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
And the talent on this season is just
Every year they're getting better and better.
Incredible.
It is. It's amazing.
Incredible.
And look, and you can say, I was on The Voice. You know?
I was on The Voice, you know, because I think what is happening is there are more and more people that are becoming independent artists. And there are more and more people that are using social media to grow and to build their platforms. And, you know, you can only do so much on social media. But you hit primetime TV, you know, and you look, you're on there and there's 10 million people watching you. That's, you know, my blind audition is over 900,000 views right now.
Wow.
When would I ever? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the battle that Jedge and I did is over 2 million right now.
Oh my goodness.
When would I ever? You know what I'm saying? So I'm so grateful for that because that is performance footage that I can have for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
So I'm so grateful.
Well, I'm going to talk about your life a little bit.
Okay.
Let's go back a little bit. I mean, congratulations. This is so exciting for you. I'm so excited for you. And just, of course, you've been in the music business all your life. Let's talk about your dad, one of the Funk Brothers for Motown. I mean, that's huge.
Yes.
And I think I heard that you were like 5 and you were, hanging out with him or down at Motown.
It was just the fact that my dad did the music and he was a Funk brother, and I didn't really know what he did. I just knew my dad played piano, and I knew that he was a musician. I thought my father didn't have a job. My mother was an elementary English teacher, guidance counselor.
Okay.
And I knew my mom went to work. My dad took me to school. My dad picked me up. My dad was an excellent cook. He was home, and he played the piano. We had this beautiful mahogany grand piano in our house, and he would just play. And I'm like, my daddy doesn't have a job, but he sure can play that piano. I didn't know what he did. Yeah. And then as I got older, people would say, oh, yeah, that's Johnny. You know your daddy worked for Motown. I was like, okay. I don't... meant nothing. My father and my mother really pushed me to get my education and to go to school.
Yeah, didn't your dad not want you to be a professional?
He did not want me in this business at all. He did not want it. My mom did not want it. My dad opted to not go to LA when Motown transitioned out there. And so they pushed me to go to school, get my degree, and I did that. I got my bachelor's degree in business and computers. I did all that stuff. Hated it, but I did it because I wanted to please my parents. And I worked in corporate America for a long time. I worked at Ford Motor Company. I taught school. I did a lot of different things, but on the weekend I sang. And it just kept pulling and tugging to go do the music. And some people are asking me, why did you wait so long? Because I'm one of the oldest. Well, I am the oldest contestant on the show. There were a couple of people. There was a guy that auditioned that was older than me, but he didn't make it past. Right. I'm the oldest contestant on there now. And
just a number. It's just a number.
It is. Yes, girlfriend. Yes, it is. But, it is that,
right.
People are like, because I had people ask me, why did you get on national television and tell your age? Because that's part of my story. That's part of my journey. Yeah. And one of the things I want people to know is, no matter how old you are, you still have a story. You still have a life. We quit our dream. The dream doesn't quit on us.
Right.
So growing up, my parents didn't really want me in the music. They wanted me to get my education. I did what they wanted me to do, but this music thing just kept tugging. And so I decided that I was too afraid to stand in the front. So I said, I'll be a background singer. And then that's how it started me getting on that level of touring and international work. And I started out with Detroit's own Anita Baker and toured with her. And then...
Good place to start.
Oh, my God. Like I said on the show, like, that's not bad for your first major gig.
Not at all.
I mean, people were like, so who have you worked with before? And I was like,
just Anita.
Just Anita. And they're like, that was your first gig? I'm like, yeah. And they were like, well, where was your first show? Like, one of my first shows with her was in London. Oh. Like, it was just crazy.
It is crazy.
I got to get started on that book.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's just the how things kind of just happen. So I worked with her and then transitioned to work with Kim. And then in the midst of working with Kim, and I still work with him because we're in year number 6, me being background vocals for him, I decided to put my own album out. Because also, as an artist, you have to realize when that main artist decides to take a break, there's a break.
Right.
And what are you doing? I'm at home knitting sweaters, and I'm like, that's not what I know.
Well, good thing you had a degree to fall back on if you had to. But
and I use the degree, and it is so probably obsolete now. It's dusty, but I have it. I have it. But I just kind of decided as I continued to go. I said, let me do something else. Let me try. There's something else in me. There's something else in me. There's something more I can do. And I put the album out, and then when I really decided to get serious. You got to say it 3 times. That means you're really serious.
Really serious.
You're like serious. Then I found a manager, and we've been moving ever since.
Good. You had it. I mean, it was kind of all lined up.
It just happened. I mean, it was, as people, somebody say, it was in the stars.
Yeah.
It was a matter of me putting the effort, because I really believe God had this all lined up for me. I just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
Because I suffer from extreme stage fright.
Really?
Just depression, just insecure, everything that would keep you wrapped up in a ball, in a corner,
Yeah.
sucking your thumb.
Yeah.
That's me. That's still me. I just know how to deal with it now.
And
Yeah.
I think I read or heard that, following the dream, it was at that point, it's like, I really need to follow this.
I
need
do,
to
because
this.
every year I was like, okay, ma'am, you're okay. All right. Come on, people. And I was saying that to myself, but at the same time fighting the insecurity, fighting the depression, fighting feeling I'm not good enough, fighting feeling, oh, it's so many other people that sing better than me, I won't be able to compete with them. And I realized that the competition was with me, and that they are in their lane and I'm in my lane. And if I just do what I'm supposed to do,
Love
then
that.
yeah,
Love
because
that.
if you try to get in somebody else's lane, what happens? You have an accident.
Accident.
Yeah. So if you stay in your lane, you get to your destination. So
Yeah.
I decided to stay in my lane, do what I do best, and now
I
on
love that.
TV.
Explain. Just stay in my lane.
Stay in
I've
my
got it
lane.
straight and
Yeah.
straight. You
Like
might be
you're
a little,
driving a
might be a
car.
few curves in
Yeah.
it, but I'm going this.
It's just like if you're driving a car, you can take that same situation. You get in your car and you just go, but you stay in your lane. When you
Yeah.
start swerving, you're causing problems. and I don't,
I love that analogy. That could be part of your title for this book that you were going to be writing, right?
Yeah.
Staying in
your
my lane.
Yes. Yeah. So
And I-
that's basically,
Oh my gosh.
how I've gotten here. It's just been a process, and one thing I love about my manager, shout out to Courtney Benjamin. He's so cool. We always think ahead. Like, what are you doing next? What are we supposed to do next? And sometimes I'll say, well, Court. He said, I know. Thank you. You're the best manager. So you have to think like that.
Yeah.
What do you do next? Where do you go next? Driving a car. You don't get to the corner and decide to turn. You already know that street is coming, and you're preparing. You're switching lanes. You turn on your signal. You switch lanes.
There's
and then
steps.
there are
you have
steps,
to-
and then you prepare to move over.
Yeah.
So that's how it got me to the show. I think putting the album out, doing shows, and getting more comfortable being on a stage has led me to be able to get to where I am on the show thus far.
Yeah. What a ride.
I told you I could talk, Pam. You don't have to worry about me. in no
I love
interview.
this quote, and it kind of goes on what we were just saying here. You equate singing to breathing.
Yes.
And it's like, that is so cool. That when you think about it, it's like, I have to breathe. I have to sing,
Yeah.
And-
That's how I feel. When I don't sing for long periods of time, I get a little antsy. It is a expression. It's a purging for me. I feel like it's a connection to God. Sometimes if I need to speak to him or tell him how I feel, I'll sing a song, and a song will come to me that expresses how I feel at that moment.
Yeah.
And I'm good.
Yeah. Which brings me to this your CD here. It's called Free.
Correct.
Really cool. I don't know, probably can't see that on camera, but so you've been, backing up Anita, and you're backing up Kim, and it's like, and you said, well, I need to put my own stuff in. So, at what point did you say, I need to, can I write these songs? Or have you always been a writer that it just came naturally to you as well?
No, I did not know that I could write. I wanted to try to write. And when I initially started with this project, I got songs given to me. I was extremely blessed. Some songs were given to me to start.
Oh.
And from Grammy nominated producers. I mean, it just, everything just flowed. And the songs, if you remember a song, Chris Brown and Jordan Sparks did No Air, nominated for a Grammy. The person who co-wrote and produced that gave me several songs to start my album.
Wow.
It was amazing. I recorded those out in LA. And then came back home, because that's very expensive, because my husband and I funded this project ourselves. So then I came back home and then sought out other producers who had placement. I wanted a project that would have longevity, and I wanted a project that where if I passed it to someone to tell them to take a listen, they would know that I was serious because I had serious producers on there. And so the other producers, there are 3 other producers that are from here, and 1 is from LA. And the producers are amazing. They're all Grammy nominated or Grammy award receiving producers. And I've just been so blessed with that project. And then the songs that I wrote on there, I co-wrote with people who were already established writers. They were able to guide
Smart
me
move.
and help me. Yeah, because, when the Bible says, lean not to thine own understanding. So there were things I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I sought help for me to get better. And
Yeah.
so now I have a better understanding of how to write, how to structure a song. And thoughts and ideas that I had, I jot them down like poetry. And then I'd say, hey, what do you think about this? And they would say, well, that first line really should be your last line. You need to switch it. And they just taught me the process of how to structure.
There
So I've
is
learned
a process.
there is
to
a process.
songwriting.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
So I've learned so much. I'm looking forward to. I've already actually started on my second album.
I was just ready to ask you. So, do you have another one, in the works?
It started and then it stopped because of the show. Because
yeah.
I'm not even
You're a little
here to
busy
do it.
right
Yeah,
now.
I'm a little busy.
Just a
little
little
busy,
bit.
And but I'm looking forward to getting back to finishing that because
Okay.
I would like to take everything that I learned from the first album and modify it and make it better and bigger. So I'm really excited.
What happens, thinking about this, you're putting out the albums and stuff. What happens if, for example, you win it all with The Voice? And do you have to sign with them? How does that work if you're an independent now, or you've got management already? How
You
does
do
that
get
work?
signed to a record label,
Okay.
yes, and then your project will be taken care of by the record label.
Okay. But that doesn't really affect your, what you do on the other,
What I've already released
Released
is
and stuff,
already
yeah,
out,
yeah.
and it belongs to me. And then what I do after you win the show, what you put out belongs to the label.
Okay. Do you have to continue with them, or is it just like one album and then you can do your own?
It depends.
Depends. Okay.
Yeah. That's one of those questions
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a contract,
Yes.
as any record contract would be, and it is whatever you negotiate and sign for.
Okay,
I
that
mean,
makes
that's the truth, and it's
Yeah.
just a general answer. Whatever you guys negotiate and work out, that's what it is.
Okay.
If they want 100 albums from you, that's what If they want one, it'll be one.
Yeah.
Depends.
Well, we'll get you to that step, and then we'll
Yeah.
know what happens.
Right. But it sounded good, Pam. It sounded really good.
Just your path, the lane you've been
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
It's just been an amazing
Thank
story.
you.
It's been
Thank you.
really cool, and
I couldn't have made it up myself, I tell you.
it just seems like everything was in line, which is
Yes.
amazing.
It was a line that just things that for instance, me being able to meet and work with Whitney Houston was just amazing.
Yes, you were your stand-in.
I was her stand-in and
Yeah.
her body double when she filmed Sparkle here in Detroit. And that was something that I never thought was going to happen. I never thought I'd meet Whitney. Why would Whitney be in Detroit? Even though I knew she had ties to Detroit from the Winans family. But just the fact that she was here filming a movie and then I happened to get cast for that part, and the simple fact or the coincidental fact that she and I have the same birthday, all of that stuff was just weird, and she and I got a chance to talk about that and exchange that dialogue, and it was just something I'll cherish with me forever.
Did you ever get to sing with her?
No, I did not. I did not,
that
because we
would've
were
been
on it would have been amazing. I would have loved to have, but on the movie set, we were it was just acting and those things. So I did not get a chance to do that. But the fact that I got a chance to actually talk to her and exchange that information with her was priceless for me, because she was what I identified with growing up. We had the same body build and we were both, structured very similar. And I saw her and she sang and I fell in love with her. And I just, as a little girl and you look at her, or a little girl look at anything or any person that they look up to.
Right.
You never think you're going to meet them. And then when you do, it's larger than life to you. So that was...
Were you starstruck?
Very much so. I would be on set and she'd walk in and the whole atmosphere would change for me anyway. I didn't care about anybody else, but for me, it was, the sun was shining brighter, the lights got brighter, the air was sweet. When she walked in, it was just Whitney was everything to me.
Oh.
Right. I heard angels singing, for me, it was that, because that was my person. That was the person that I wanted to meet and be with, and the fact that I was able to be in the same room with her and breathe that same air. I just think
That is...
I know that it changed me. There was something in me that changed, because at that point in time, something that I thought was never going to happen, ever happened. And I saw it happen. And the crazy thing was, we were filming Sparkle. At the time, I was living almost walking distance from where we filmed it.
Oh,
Like,
wow.
Right. How does that happen? So I was like, okay, God, I hear you for real. It was just, it was crazy.
It just blown away of all
Yeah.
the things that kind of fell right at your feet. You know?
Yes.
Like, wow.
Yes.
You did something good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Ask my mom. She'd say, no, she didn't know. but it was just one of those things where if you have to believe and have faith. And
Yeah.
if I, at any time in my life, I ever did not believe or have faith, it was just being proven to me just time after time. It was crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
Mhm.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy good.
Crazy good,
Yeah.
right. It just, I thank you for bringing up sparkle. I forgot you had done that. And it was like, well, yeah, you've got the
And I
sparkle on, you know.
sparkle, yeah.
It kind of all goes together. So
Yeah.
something I like to do with my interviews when I have guests in here
Okay.
is do my Pam exam. And
Uh-oh.
you've been all over the place.
Pam, I haven't been in
TV
school in
and
a long
radio,
time. Now,
and,
wait
I
a
mean,
minute.
you've been everywhere. No. It's,
Like, come on, not no test.
but this is going to be stuff that all these interviews. I mean, you've been just
And I saw
amazing.
that jar, and I'm like, what is she?
It's just
I don't
amazing.
see candy
how
in there. So what is?
these
what's
are
in
probably
there?
things that no one's asked you before. And these
Uh-oh.
are just random, top of your head. Throw out the
Okay.
answer. We get to know a little more about you.
Okay.
If time and money didn't matter, what would you be doing?
If time and money didn't matter, I'd be sleeping. And then I'd wake up and do some online shopping. And then I'd eat a snack.
Of
And then I'd go back to sleep. That would be my life. Time and money, and I could do whatever and buy whatever. Oh, girl, yeah,
Oh,
that'd
my
be my
gosh.
life. Mhm.
you would enjoy your day.
Oh, God. yes.
Calmly.
Oh, God. Yes. Oh, yes. I'd wake up whenever I wanted, order something, eat, go back to sleep. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have a half or full day to kill in Metro Detroit. What would you do?
A half or full day? You know what I would do? At this time in my life, I'd probably take my mom to the movies.
Oh.
We do that a lot, and she likes that.
Oh, that's nice.
So
nice.
I'd take my mom to the movies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we got the big, film festival coming up here. And I don't know if
Yeah.
it started yet or not, but
Yeah, it's so
Check out
many
the movies.
awesome things that are going on in Detroit now.
yeah.
I love it, and I live downtown, and I love watching the transition, the changes, and I love that. But my mom and I, we like to go to some of the MJR theaters with the
Oh, yeah.
reclining seats and the popcorn, and we sit back and fall asleep and wake up during the movie. It's just comfy. That's what we
you
do.
go sleeping again.
Yeah, we go sleeping. We're
what
nappers.
does it matter? I mean, do you have a specific genre of movie you love to go to?
I like comedies.
Okay.
I love to laugh. So, and whatever, if a commercial comes on and it catches my eye or catches my mom's eye, she's like, let's go see that. And I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Hey, don't forget the popcorn.
Yes.
Cat or dog?
Neither.
Fish?
No pets.
Well, it's kind of hard too, when you're
I'm
out
allergic to
touring
cats.
and-
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I'm allergic to cats. I'm allergic to dogs as well. If I had to pick one, it would be a dog, but just nothing that
Yeah.
you have to clean up. No. Nah, chewing up my shoes. I already told you I like shopping. They chew up your shoes. No, we're just, no.
Okay.
No animals.
No animals. First record you ever bought and first concert you ever attended?
Ooh, first record. I do not remember buying records because my father was an A&R at the WGPR radio station.
Oh.
So he brought home every.
freebies.
Yeah, I had records. So I never bought records.
Okay.
But what was the other question?
Concert. First concert.
Oh, New Edition
Okay.
at Cobo Hall, I think. Yeah, New Edition. Oh God, I lived for that concert. Yes, that was good.
Did you ever, when you're watching, them up on stage and you think, I'm going to do this someday, or were you already part of the music at that point?
No, I wasn't. I was a teenager.
Oh, okay.
No, I loved the music, but they were guys, and I was just goo goo gaga over the guys. I wasn't thinking about me singing. I was like, oh my God, they're so cute, and that it was totally a disconnect to me
Music.
wanting to do that.
Okay.
It was just they were boys, and I was a girl. It was that.
Bottom line.
Yeah, bottom line. Yeah.
Have you ever had a frightening moment on stage?
Oh, absolutely. Several.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I mentioned to you earlier about the stage fright and being afraid to
Yes,
sing.
yeah.
I've always been able to sing, even in junior high. I was 13 or 14 years old. My teachers would tell me, Beth, you have a beautiful voice. I was too afraid to sing. So high school talent show, almost passed out.
Oh,
Yeah. And it wasn't over then. A friend of mine got married and I was singing at her wedding and I did pass out. Like, stop the wedding. They were calling
wow.
911. And it was just anxiety attack happened.
That's intense.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you,
Anxiety.
it was serious. Like, when I tell people I was afraid, they don't get, I'm like, well, how about I hit the floor? How serious is that? Like, it would freak me out to the point where I would be singing and I would just feel heat start at my feet and rise up. And I was like, oh God, not now. Please don't. And boom, and I'm passed out. I would just freak out like that. It doesn't happen anymore.
Thank
but
goodness.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you see John Lennon going, oh my God?
Yeah, I have worked with this over many, 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 many years.
Yeah.
Just if you see me talking to myself, just leave me alone in the corner. I'm working some things out, but I've gotten past.
Middle note, okay.
Yeah, middle note. If you see Beth talking to herself, she's trying to get it together. But yeah, I've literally passed out singing, and those were probably the most frightening moments. And it was very hard for me because it was just this push and pull, a push for me to sing and do it, and a pull like, no, you're not good enough.
Yeah.
And so it was this constant pull, and it was happening while I was singing, which caused the anxiety, which caused me to pass out. So that was the crazy part,
Sorry.
That's okay. Well, this is your show. Your fault. I don't care.
It was
It's your
off. I don't know
fault.
why they went.
No. So yeah, it was that. Seriously.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And we laugh about it now. But
I mean, I've heard people at stage fright, but I've never heard anyone actually passing out on the stage.
911, man down. Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Hey, if you were a spice, what would it be?
Ooh, cayenne pepper.
Spicy girl.
Yeah. Well, I don't even like spicy food, but if I had to pick, because it's red, it's cute.
It's cute.
It's cute. Cayenne pepper's cute.
Okay, I think that's a first. Cayenne pepper and cute. The
It's
same.
cute. It's red. It's cute. I don't know.
Hey, what's your guilty pleasure?
Shopping and sleeping.
Yeah, we already got that.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to go back to that. Yeah. I love shopping. I love sleeping. I love Twix bars. I like Snickers with almond. I like Twizzlers, candy. Yeah, all those things. Everything you shouldn't eat. And I like to lay in the bed and eat it.
Okay.
It's really bad.
What's your husband think about that?
He's laying there eating it with me. It's bad. Seriously, last night I fell asleep. We were laying in the bed, and I said, "Baby, why do we have all this candy in the bed with us? It's in between us in the bed. We have he would kill me if he knew I'm telling you this. But we like snacks. That's what we do. We watch TV and watch movies and eat snacks. So.
Okay.
She's like,
It's
okay,
really? Okay.
Yeah, that's my yeah.
I think you may have already answered this, but it says the most memorable music moment. Was there something else that it wasn't something you already told us?
Ooh,
I mean, you've had some good ones. So
yeah, I think one of them, was not singing, but meeting Whitney Houston. I think also, when I think back, another memorable moment would be Anita Baker telling me that she felt I was going to go solo one day, and me just adamantly saying, no, I am going to be your background singer for the rest of my life. And she says, I'm not going to do this forever. And she says, I see something in you, and you're going to, and I'm like, yeah.
Which, by the way, I was thinking of it earlier. It's like, did you approach Anita, or your manager, somebody approach you, or did she approach you?
How I met Anita Baker was I met Michael Powell, who was her producer, produced Rapture, and he had Chapter 8, which is the group that she started in before she went solo, and worked with Michael Powell on several projects, and he heard me singing, and I went to him and I said, Mike, I would like to be a background singer, and tour, and because I had recorded some things, and he told me I did very well. And I said, Mike, this is a funny story. Here's another story for you. And I said, Mike, I'd love to do background. I said, can you introduce me to somebody, anybody who you've worked with? And the first person he took me to was the late Aretha Franklin. He introduced me to her. She didn't take me because I had no prior experience touring. And she says, well, if you haven't worked with anybody, no. And Mike said, okay. He says, I'll take you to somebody else. And I said, well, can I meet Anita Baker? And he saes, well, no, that's not going to work. I'll find somebody else. And I said, well, why? He says, well, she already has background singers and she's had them for years. I said, well, Mike, and this is, you got to remember this. I said, well, Mike, if something happens, call me and let me know. He says, Beth, nothing is going to happen. She's had these singers, and she'll find her own singers. She's not going to call me and ask me anything. I said, but Mike, please. I said, if something happens, call me. I remember I was teaching school at this time, and I was actually teaching at Winans Academy. Pastor Marvin Winans out of school. And I was sitting in the classroom one day. It was about almost 3 o'clock. It was time for the kids to go. And my phone rang, and I had been calling Mike for probably about a month. I couldn't get him on the phone. He was traveling, doing whatever. And then finally he called me and I said, I picked up the phone. I said, Mr. Powell, I have been calling you. What's going on? What are you doing? He just started laughing. He was like, I'm good. And I was like, what's so funny? He was like, remember that time you asked me if something happens, could you work with Anita? I'm like, yeah. He said, something happened.
Ooh.
And it was just funny. And I'm like, okay. And he was like, yeah, she needs some singers. You want the job? And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
And it was like the bell was ringing. The kids were getting ready to leave. And I was like, get your coats, go. Literally threw the kids out the classroom, and I was like, Mike, let me call you back in a minute. And he was like, I called him back and he was like, she needs some singers. I don't know what happened, but she called me and asking for singers. And I remember that you asked me. And that, we did the first show here at the music hall. It was for Stars and Cars or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was in June, summer month. I remember that. And probably I'm trying to remember the year. 2007. I was like, no, not 2016. 2006, 2007, something around there.
Uh-huh.
That was the first show. Second show was London, and was with her ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, now, if you wouldn't have said anything to this guy, that would not have been in his head at all.
Never. And the crazy thing was, maybe 2 weeks before we did that show, my husband told me, he says, you need to get your passport. And I said, well, okay, we're not going anywhere. I had one, but it had expired.
Yeah.
He says, you need to get your passport. I said, okay, fine, whatever. And then I didn't get it. Then Mike called for the show. We had maybe 7 days to prepare for the show.
Wow.
That was on a Friday night. I remember this. I had a dream that night that I needed to get my passport. And I woke up Saturday morning, and the other two girls that I was singing with, I remember telling my husband, I said, I had a dream that I'm going overseas. He said, well, I told you 2 weeks ago to get your passport. And
I
I'm
told
like,
you.
Yeah, I told you. And I said, no, I got a really weird feeling. I called the other two girls. I said, you know what? You guys, we need to get our passports. We all went to the post office, got the passports. This was a Saturday. But then I said, no, I'm just excited. I just worked with Anita Baker. And I put the passport application on the kitchen table. I'll never forget this. Monday morning, that same week, Monday after that, her manager calls me and he goes, hi, how are you? And I says, hey, Steve, how are you? He was like, yeah, I have a question. Do you have your passport? And I said, oh, I tried to keep from screaming. I was like, are you kidding me? He was like, yeah, Anita has a job week after next in London and she wants you guys to go. And I said, oh my God. So my dream was like, for real.
Yeah.
And literally I drove to Chicago, got my passport. Mm-hmm. And if I would not have done that, I wouldn't have been with her.
I know. It's blown away. How everything just keeps.
That's how it happened.
Oh
it was
gosh.
crazy because me and the other two girls, we got in the car.
Yeah.
We packed a cooler with snacks. We left maybe 3 or 4 in the morning, drove to Chicago so we could get to the passport office. Her manager wrote us a letter of intent to travel. And by that afternoon, by 3 o'clock, I had my passport and we were gone.
Wow.
Like the next couple of days, we were gone.
Wow.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's all
and
truth.
You're like, okay, again, slap me.
Yeah, but at the time,
Oh
sometimes, you see these things happening, but it makes sense now when I see where I am now and I look back. But at the time, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. Like, you don't know,
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm just going to grab one more question here.
I like your questions, Pam. I like this Pam exam. Yeah.
That's what I said. A lot of, you're all over the place. You've been, radio and TV everywhere. In fact, filling in this on our morning show on WOMC, and there you were calling. We talked to you this morning.
Was really early. I was like, "Hi, good morning."
Yeah, you did sound a little asleep.
I told you I like to sleep, but I knew I was gonna, talk to you guys. But it was just still very early.
It was very early. Yes,
I was up though, but you can't get that. Man on the moon out your throat that early.
It was great though. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Mexican town, Greek town, or Cork town?
Oh, Mexican town all day. I love Mexican food.
You're just full of surprises.
Oh,
here.
I love. Can't eat cheese, but I love it because it messes with my voice. But I love Mexican. Like my husband and I, he's like, let's go out. I'm like, let's go to Mexican Village. I mean, that's my spot, Mexican Village.
Yeah. There's some good restaurants in there.
Yeah, and I go to Honeybee Market, Bumblebee. What is it? Bumblebee, Honeybee. The market that's right there. I go there all the time.
I am not sure, but
I think it's Honeybee.
Okay.
Honeybee Market. I'm there all the time getting my guacamole and my pico de gallo sauce and my chips. Oh, yeah. I'm always over there. Mm-hmm. That's my spot.
And then you have the snack afterwards, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Snickers bar and some chips. It's a bad mix, but that's what I do.
You know, you look amazing if you're all eating
oh,
all
I'm
these
hungry, Pam.
snacks.
Trust me, I'm hungry.
All right, one more. Craziest fan experience.
I don't know. I don't really have, no fan. I've been a fan. I can speak on that perspective. But I try, because I work around artists and I've been around big artists, I try to really respect their space. So if I see somebody that I'm just like fanning out about, I kind of like, excuse me, can I get a picture? Can you sign this for me?
Yeah.
I've had people tell me that they're my fans. That doesn't sink in yet. I'm like, oh, why? Like, I'm still not processing
Well,
that.
when you win The Voice,
Oh,
and
yes, I like
then you're
you.
going to have a huge fan base, and then you're just going to be experiencing all that. Yeah.
It's growing now. And thank you, Pam. I like that. I meet people. I get people on my social media telling me that, I've been following you because I love you and I'm a fan. And it's very flattering. I just don't know how to,
Is it humbling, kind of?
It is, because I feel I connect very well with people. I love people. I feel people. I feel their joy. I feel their pain. So when a person likes me, I like them because they like me, and I feel that, and I feel that exchange. And I love to give to people. I love to help people. So I don't ever want anybody to put me anywhere above them, because I think we're all, we all are on that same level, I think people put you there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not like that.
It's like, I'm just like you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I have a different talent than you, but you've got something I don't.
Because you got something that I, and I just
exactly.
I love people. I love to connect with people, and that's one of the things. When I do live shows, I love to go out where the CD booth is, and I love to meet people. I love to take pictures. I'll be out there as long as I can.
Artists do that.
Oh, I love it, because I know that you paid your money to come to see me, and you sat there listening to me, up there sweating, trying to sing these songs to you. I love that. And then even on my social media, people post things, I comment.
Yeah.
I'm up for hours in the middle of the night, and I'm telling people, thank you, because I appreciate them. And I know that if they don't pay me any attention, I wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to remember, they're out there, to them, I mean, it's just, some people say, well, it's just another fan, just another, but you can't. You have to,
these people are special.
Yeah.
They have taken time to listen to me sing. They have watched and critiqued me, and they follow me, and I appreciate that just to the ends of time. I really do.
And those are the ones that are going to be on the Voice app going,
right.
Beth,
yeah.
10 points.
And then sometimes people are like, thank you for responding. And I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't I? But then I'm thinking, some people, you can't, some artists are so big they can't.
Yeah, right.
It's just too much.
Right.
And I know that. So while I can, I do. And I appreciate people so much. And I love meeting people. I love seeing the smiling faces. I love to say thank you in person. That means a lot. So
Well, that means a lot to those people.
Yeah.
When you do, I mean, just for someone like you to do that, I mean, that's huge. So
yeah, I like people.
That's
People
why
are
we
cool.
like you.
There's some bad ones out there too, but and thank you, Pam. There's some weird folk out there too, but those that are really nice and sincere, I feel that.
Yeah.
And I want them to know that I appreciate them, and that's the honesty.
Well, we're very excited. I mean, just wishing you all the best. I mean, you know what's happening next, I think, don't you?
Yeah,
okay.
I go back out to, no, honestly, I do, there's, okay, how can I answer this? Because I'm stuttering now.
I know
I go back to LA on Sunday.
Okay.
Okay, I can say that I leave heading back. There's another round.
Yes.
And we have not gotten, exactly what we're going to do. We know that the knockouts are next.
Yes.
But they have to explain that to us.
Yes.
And if you watch the show, you know that there is the blind audition, it's the battles, it's the knockouts, and then you go into something else, I think the playoffs. And but they have to explain it to us. Just because you watch the show doesn't mean that you get it. Yeah. All the way. So I get to go back out to some sunshine for a minute and get my head clear. And
well, we are so proud of you. I mean, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Getting as far as team legend right now.
Yes,
and,
I'm excited about
we will be watching and see where the next thing is, and we wish you all the best. And you're representing Detroit very well. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Can I give everybody my social media?
Absolutely.
Please, so they can follow, so I can comment back and say thank you. Those of you that are out listening, thank you so very much for your love and support so far. And my Instagram is Beth Always Sings. That's BethAlwaysSings. My Twitter is the same, Beth Always Sings, and my Facebook fan page is Beth Griffith-Manley. So please reach out to me and say hello.
Yeah.
Let me know you heard me on the show. and I'll say hi back.
Sounds good.
Yep. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Go Team Legend.
Go Team
Beth.
Legend. Go Team Beth. Yay.
Thank you so much for
No,
coming. It
thank
has been a
you.
pleasure. Just super
Thank
great,
you.
great talking to you, sitting down and chatting with
You
you.
made
so.
my day, Pam.
You're sweet. And to all of you, thanks for joining us for this special edition of Behind the Mic. And we'll be back to our normal schedule on Monday with another great artist from the area. And until then, I'm Pam Rossi. Have a great week.